Welcome back, guys. It's Leo here from marketingwithleonard.com. Okay, the next module we're going to talk about is add-on domains. Now, we remember we registered the domain from GoDaddy, and then we point the just to recap everyone. So we registered the domain, we changed the NS record, and point that NS record to HostGator. So from GoDaddy to HostGator. Now we looked at the introduction to cPanel, things that we basically looked at there, such as changing the theme and changing the password. And now we're into the module 4, adding domain. Now, why are we adding a domain? Well, remember, HostGator is my hosting provider, my web hosting provider, whereas GoDaddy is my domain registrar. They're the one who registered my domain. But I'm not using GoDaddy as my web hosting company. I'm using HostGator as my web hosting company. So therefore, I need to point that domain to HostGator and then add that domain into HostGator database. So there's the features here. If you log in, you log into your cPanel account, and you scroll down until you see domains. Okay. So under domain, you have quite a few options. You have subdomains, add-on domain, park domains, redirect, and simple DNS records editor. Now, on next module, we're going to talk about subdomains. So I'm going to explain that to you why we're using subdomain. Now, this module we are interested on add-on domains. So we're going to add that domain that we registered. Park domain is something that you want to park your domain if you don't want to do anything with your domain for now, just park it here at GoDaddy or park it somewhere else. Redirect is simply if you want to redirect a domain. Let's say you purchase a company. Let's say the domain is www.domain.com. You purchase the company, including their domain. Now you want to redirect that domain to your company's domain, which is now the parent domain. So you go in here and you simply redirect it. Now we're not going to go in, excuse me, we're not going to go into details uh, on this module. We're going to go into details in module 11, mastering cPanel. I'm going to talk about all these things and how you're going to use them as a internet marketer, because you need to understand those down the future when you build a lot of website, and then you want to park them, or you want to redirect them, or you want to delete them, or you want to add new domains. So let's go and add a domain. So you click on add on domain. Now here, remember that domain that we registered with GoDaddy is understanding WordPress training.com. So make sure you see this green tick. So which means HostGator is able to communicate with GoDaddy and is able to contact GoDaddy, and now is able to establish a connection, which is the name server up to registered. The domain that we registered is now pointing to HostGator. So make sure you have that tick, green tick. Now, for FTP purpose, we're going to talk about FTP. What is FTP? Which is the File Transfer Protocol. That will be on Module 8. Now, we need to give it a name here. What we're going to call it is just PC user. Don't call it as admin. Okay? Everybody knows admin. So from a IT, a security point of view, you should move away from using admin. Always use something else, either PC user or something unknown. Okay, PC user, or at least do admin underscore user. Okay, because if you using admin, you're giving it away. The hackers they're already halfway there. So all they have to do is hack your password. So you don't make it too easy for them. Make it hard. Make it hard for them. Okay? So do admin, uh, admin underscore user or PC user. I tend to use PC user because that's not a very known uh, username. So yeah, unless you work in the IT industry like me, but you're listening to this recording, mostly you're being an internet marketer or something else you're doing. All right, now let's move on. Password. You've seen this screen before. Password generator. I always use password generator because it gives you all these complex characters, combination of characters, letters. There's some letters there and some symbols. So I tend to use the password generator. So don't make up your own password like you do password. Okay? Don't use those because you are dealing with your registered domain here now. So what you need to do, you need to secure it as as secure as possible. That's my advice to you because I've been working, I've been in the industry for so long, and I see people they just make up some password that's easy to guess. You make it hard for the hackers to do their job. Okay? Don't make it easy, make it hard. So use this password generator. Just copy this. So you just highlight it. Okay? Just highlight. Actually, when you go back, close that, go back in. When you click on that, it's highlighting automatically. And then you just basically right click, copy. Okay? And tick this box. I have copied the password in save place. And I want to use that password. Now, remember our notepad. Notepad is very, very useful. So if you remember it way back in the module 1 or 2, can't remember, you go into your search box, type in notepad. Okay, hit enter. Now here, what I tend to do is, that's the password there. What I tend to do is copy this, copy our domain. So I click on the domain and Control A, highlight it, and right click copy. So that's our domain there. I want to paste that there, copy, right click and paste. Okay. Now this is the username, highlight, copy again, right click copy, username, paste. Now this is the root folder. Now let me pause for 1 second here. Why are we doing this? You know, anyone? Anyone? Bueller? 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 Anyone? Okay. Why are we doing it? Well, we're doing this is simply the answer is right in front of us. Down the future, if you're going to use an FTP, file transfer protocol, which is I will discuss in module 8, is you will need this username and password to connect to the back end of this WordPress website. Okay? What is the back end of this? Well, remember in the cPanel, we're adding a domain here, adding domain. Once we add this domain, we're going to go into this public folder here, and we're going to see all the files. Once we add this domain, we jump onto cPanel, and we're going to look at the back end of this. And in order for you to connect to that remotely, is you will need an FTP application like an FTP client, and you will need your username and you will need that password. This is the password here. So at the time of this recording, these are the password. I will change this later once I finish the recording and publish this on Warrior Forum. So Don't bother remembering them because they're going to change. So just giving you a heads up. Now, so as you can see, everything is green here. You want to see that. You want to see green lights here. You want to see green tick. Green for your domain, which means it's talking to GoDaddy. GoDaddy is pointing your domain to HostGator, and HostGator is adding this. It's pulling the records and said, "Yep, it's pointing to me. No problem. I can read it." And I have my username, and this is the default. You can't change that because it's been added automatically the moment you add your new domain here. The password, we generated the password, and all we have to do is just add the domain. Add domain, add addition. It's thinking about it. And you need to be able to see those. You need to be able to see those. Add domain. That domain has been created, and the FTP account has been created, which is PC user. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, so let's go back into the main cPanel, main screen. All right, so we added the domain. Now if we scroll up a bit, apologize for my screen. There's a latency. I think it's when I recording when I hit the record of Camtasia. Camtasia is using a lot of resources as well. I'm running this machine as a virtual machine. It's not a physical machine, it's a virtual machine. That's why you can see there's some latency there, so I might have to add a little bit more RAM, virtual RAM. Anyway, so we add the domain, and now let's head up to File Manager. Now I got a lot of domains here, and the one we're looking for is understanding WordPress training.com. So that's what we are interested. And if we click on that, now this part of the cPanel is a little bit daunting if the first time you logged in here, because there's so many things that are going for you, and what you don't pay attention to all the stuff here. All you are interested, you know, only interest B is on the public underscore HTML. Now these are the domains that I've registered. Um, the one that I'm interested is understanding WordPress training. As you can see, it's pretty much empty at the moment because we haven't installed WordPress yet. Now we're going to install WordPress on module 7. So we're still on module 4. So there's 3 more modules ahead of us. And as you can see, this is the root. Well, this is not the root domain, but that's the domain root of understanding WordPress training.com. So remember the FTP accounts that we created, which is that account there, and that's the password there. Okay. Later on, when we're gonna connect on this is remember I was talking about back end. This is the back end of cPanel. Okay. That's where you see all your domains here and all the files. When you connect remotely using an FTP client, this is where you're connecting. You are connecting to this folder here and all the subfolders underneath that. So that's why when we created the add domain, it forced us to create a user and the password, because down the track we're gonna connect to this using an FTP client. So I hope you understand now how you add a domain in cPanel and look at the back end of cPanel relating to your registered domain. At the moment, there's nothing there. Later on, we're going to connect back. We're going to connect back to this, and you'll see a bunch of files here. All right, so that is module 4, add-on domains.